Gonna have one more party, one more special occasion. Do it Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, holidays and weekends. We can have one more party. There's more hell we should be raising. One more party now, one more party tonight.
Hi everyone. Excuse me. Sorry we're a couple of minutes late. It's technology. We have additional technology, and of course every time you add something new you run the risk of it knocking onto every other bit that you've got and sending it a bit wonky. But I think we're here. I think we're good. I'm moving, my hands are moving, Pollock's moving. We're all right, we're fine. Right, welcome to our regular Saturday night party. Tonight I thought I would have a look at blending. This is the single most often thing that I get asked about, isn't it? Blending.
Yeah.
People message me, how can I blend? How do you blend? There's no real trick to it. Once you know how to do it, you know how to do it. Actually, I was reading a book today. I was reading in the bath, to be honest, about acrylic painting. One that I bought from a charity shop. It's a nice new modern book, and their way of blending was to keep adding water to your paint, so you were washing the colour out further you moved. Can I just tell you now, don't do that. Do not do that. Acrylic it'll stick to most things. It'll stick to your blooming clothes, your furniture, your dog. It'll stick to everything. But as soon as you start adding too much water to it, it won't stick. And so if you're adding a lot of water to your acrylic on your painting, it might look all right for a while, but it will come off. I don't know how long, a week, a year, 10 years, I've no idea, but you are messing with the integrity of the paint. So for all it seems like a really good idea, and people might tell you that's what to do, if you're doing watercolour, that's great, that's what watercolour was intended for, but not acrylics. I'll show you soon, but that's not what we do. And the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to paint a face. For those of you that used to watch our Saturday Night Lives before, over on this Paintalot main page, you may recall that I was always well-intentioned. I always wanted to bring you things that were new, that I hadn't come across before, that I thought would be beneficial to you in your furniture refinishing. And we went through a whole months of doing them, and things were going just wrong, from bad to worse. I mean, it was just, all I could do in the end was laugh, because it was just ridiculous how wrong things were going. But we always tried. We always came back the next Saturday, didn't we, Mr. Andrew?
Oh, with perseverance.
Full of hope and optimism. We would rock up the next Saturday and show you something else that failed.
We're like ticks. Once we get on there, no matter shaking is going to get rid of us.
Oh dear. And I kind of hope that I'm over that now. I hope that what I show you will go right. But if anything's going to go wrong, I think it's probably going to be this face. I don't do faces. I don't really do landscapes, to be honest. I do flowers. I do flowers and more flowers and
birds.
Yeah, I do birds. Yeah, I do birds.
Tuscan houses.
Yeah, and the Tuscan house. I've had people, Sharon was asking today when the next episode of the Tuscan house is out. It's out tonight at 8 o'clock over on my YouTube channel, Miss Paintalot. If you're over there on the YouTube channel, please subscribe. It helps the way that people see my YouTube channel or not. There's no inconvenience to you, as far as I know. I've subscribed to lots of channels. You don't get emails or anything. There's a little bell sign next to where it says subscribe, and if you click on that, you will get an email notification of when I post a new video, or if I'm going live over on there or whatever. But if you don't click on that bell, you will hear nothing. It's just that you've subscribed to me. I appreciate it enormously, and you'll hear nothing. So I think, first of all, to get the ball rolling here, and because I'm slightly putting off doing the face.
Would you like a roll call before we...
Yeah, let's have a roll call.
Sharon joined us.
Hello, Sharon.
Julia.
Julia. Liz.
Nell.
Is that Liz Old?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nell Bertha Ladd.
Oh, hello.
Susan,
I think you might be new now.
Susan Hole.
Hiya, Susan.
Mike Humphrey. And Candy Adams Olwyn.
Well, hello, everybody. This is nice. Nearly a full house. No, there's plenty of room. I'm not familiar with Mike, so welcome along. And Mel, I've seen your posts on the page, so it's great to have you here. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us.
Sylvana's has just popped in as well.
Hi. And Susan posted a lovely picture today from the Angela Anderson tutorials, which are live over on YouTube. Go to the page, the Miss Acrylic Paintalot's group. That's its full title. Go there and have a look what people are posting. Leanne put a lovely picture on as well today, which I'm really pleased about because she posted one earlier in the week where she was getting lost with it. Basically, it was all right. It just needed some tweaks, and I think she was getting a little bit lost. But she's posted something today, and she's obviously found her way, which is good. So let's get cracking with the show. Right, this is what I normally use as just demo boards, I suppose you'd call them, or practice on these. It's just MDF, it's 6mm. It's 6mm because that's what B&Q had the day we went. Had they had 3mm, I would have got 3mm because they're much easier to frame. But they're great for practicing on. They're really, really smooth, and so for showing you how to do a blend, hello, it's much easier. So
we did get some stick-on hangers so you can hang them directly if you...
Yes, I did. Well, Mr. Handyman did. They're like, oh, he's going to go and get them, so I'll show you what he's talking about then. So I thought for the blend we'd do something that's really obvious. I've got a cup of coffee tonight as well, so it's all looking good tonight. For the blend, I thought I'd do some obvious colours that you can see. So I thought I'd use red, yellow, and white. Ah, yeah, these are they. And this is the sticky bit, isn't it? This bit that's white, that shows up white. Yeah. So you stick that on there centrally. Although you don't have to be too careful about it because it's. Can you see? It's got 3 little nicks. So if you're really not central, you can move your painting around a bit. But you stick it on wherever, and this just sits proud a little bit, and then you can hang it on a tack on the wall. These are really, really cheap. I've told you before, but it was an 8-foot by 4-foot board, and I think it was £13.20, and you're allowed 15 cuts free. So if you get your notebook out before you go and work out where you want the cuts, I think we ended up with about 40 of them or something like that, didn't we?
Yeah.
These are 6 by 8. No, they're not. They're 8 by 10.
8 by 10. They worked at about 30p a board, I think.
Yeah. Which is much cheaper than any of the art boards that you get to to practice on or whatever. So that's those. And this 100 pack was how much?
I think it was £18, so it works out about 18p.
18p a doodah. And we obviously got them from picturehangers.co.uk. So, I mean, 100's quite a lot. But maybe if you have a friend who paints as well, you could split it with them. But 18 quid, it's not that dear, is it really? Thanks, Mr. H. That's
My only advice is to put them reasonably near the top.
Right.
Because the lower down they are,
the more it'll stick out.
Of course, the pin's sticking out.
Yeah.
The lower you get, the further the top moves out.
It's full of it tonight, that's good advice. Right, so let's get some red out.
Stop the yakking and get on.
Stop your yakking and get on, woman. I'm tuned in to listen to you.
Actually, that's exactly what they've done.
Well, I'll tell you, you'll be leaving in droves if you haven't tuned in to listen to me, because I do talk.
And
Oh yes, I
we
talk.
have Penelope Thomas, Nancy McLean, and Jan Wiener.
Hi ladies, thanks very much for joining me tonight. Is next week Easter weekend? Is it?
It is.
It is. And also Mr. H's birthday on the 20th. So I kind of have to put my thinking cap on. I might give him a painting. How would that be? The place is absolutely heaving with paintings. So yeah, I'll give him a painting. That'll go down well.
I can give you one of mine.
Yeah, you may have seen on the Facebook group that he took a canvas and a palette knife and some paint, and actually I think what he produced was really, really creditable. That's what I shall say. And I have it hanging at the top of the stairs. And he's now on to number 2 painting. Number 2.
Too much information.
I'm not saying the painting is like a number 2. I'm not saying that. Pass it over.
Oh, the studio's what? No, you're not. No.
You're painting.
It's in this ugly stage.
Pass it over. No, don't do that. It's just I haven't got room. Isn't it funny the way that we're all so precious about our painting? So this is Mr. H's second painting. Look at it. It's got a surfer dude here on his surfboard, and this lovely wave coming round. So he's got a good tutor though, you know what I mean? So I have got out a red,
It comes on
yellow...
Wednesdays when you're out.
I'll ignore that. I have out a red, a yellow and a white. I'm going to put that bit of kitchen towel away because it's got quite a lot of red on it. And for this exercise we need clean kitchen towel. I shall show you why as we proceed. Right, take a largish brush, a 3/4 inch, something like that. This is a 3/4 inch, flat. Dip your brush in the water and get rid of the excess. Spritz your canvas or whatever you're using, and we'll start with red at the top, so we'll just pick up a healthy amount of red and paint that in a band at the top. It's probably sufficient for us to get the hang of what's going on here. So let's clean the brush of all that red, dry it off again, take some yellow and start just underneath where your red's finished. Yellow, of course, you have the inherent problem with yellow that it's transparent. Virtually all the yellows are transparent. Right, so that's that. They're there, but they're not quite touching. So rinse your brush out, get all that yellow off it, and dry it on kitchen towel. And then take your brush in this gap here where there's nothing, and keep brushing over it, over and over and over and over and over. And you'll see eventually it starts to just join together. So wipe your brush off, and it's most important that you do, otherwise you'll get that. You'll get me taking the red down there. I've got yellow on my brush now. This is the important thing about blending. Make sure that if you're up here, don't suddenly go down here, because you're going to be transporting that colour from light to dark. I'm just going to go over here again. so you can see that it is actually blended. Is the camera picking that up? Not really.
Particularly.
No. Maybe pick it up better if it was white. Let's try white.
Yeah, the yellow's a bit too transparent, I think.
Yeah,
you can see that it's going over the red, but it's not showing
yeah,
up because
because
it's too...
I don't have a line there, but it looks like there's a line. What am I doing? I've got white out.
Concentrate.
Concentrate, woman. Right, I think my brushes. I'm going to put white and then I'm going to put red, and we'll see. That'll show you how to blend. Please don't let it be one of those nights when everything goes wrong. I can't bear it. Okay. So I've got the white on. Wash your brush out. Dry it on some clean kitchen towel. Let's put some red down underneath it. Dog's on one again. He's never normally like this. He reserves this for Saturday night. Right, so we've got some red, we've got some white. So let's go in between those and blend them. And if you keep brushing, you will get a blend of the two. If you keep moving down gradually, you'll bring that white down with you. But don't now all of a sudden go back up into your white. That's blending this way. I'm hoping that's clean. And then you can go back up here and blend this way. Back up this way. Oh my God, the dog has gone too rally. I mean, you can carry on forever and a day. You really can. Just goes on and on and on and on. But the important thing is that I wanted to show you is that it's your brush, keeping your brush clean and in the right colour. Is the camera picking that up better?
It is.
There you go. That's it. I mean, really, you can keep going and keep going. You'll get a really nice blend. The other
you're the one as well to show them.
The other thing that I would say to you is, you just reach me those two brushes off the thing. This one hasn't shown up very well because of the yellow's just not standing up to it. But this is fine. These things here are called wash brushes, and they're for watercolour people. But I'm not going to do it because it takes ages to wash them out. But if you just keep going like that over the top, you get a really, really neat blend. Well, I will, I'll do it. No pressure at all. Just let it just sink into it. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. See? That camera isn't picking up exactly how excellent my work is here. That is a lovely blend in real life, I can tell you. It's cracking. And I wouldn't say rush out and buy one of these. This is a De La Rowney graduate brush, so it wouldn't have been that expensive. But it would, has a cost, of course. So I don't think you need it. I think if you follow the rules, you'll get there and you'll be fine. Right, end of blending.
Dean has joined us.
Wow, we've got lots of people tonight. This is exciting. Yeah, and usually a sort of precursor of things going horribly wrong. When I've only got a couple of you on, everything's okay, but there's nobody to see it really. Not that I'm saying a couple of you aren't. Has anybody heard from Dorothy Smith? I haven't heard from her for a while.
No, I think most people suffer from that FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, we suffer from FOFU, fear of fucking up.
That's naughty. That's naughty. I don't suffer from a fear for it. I've dealt with it so often. It's kind of second.
FOFU fighters.
The FOFU fighters. Right, I'm going to use a piece of this. It's System 3 Delaroni System 3 A4 artboards. I use them a lot. They're kind of my favourite thing to go to. They're a nice finish on them. You know, they take the paint well, and
Kim Phillips says hi from Arizona.
Hi from Arizona. My goodness me, that's a long way away.
And Liz has got the laughy crying face.
At what, Mr. Handyman being so rude? So rude. Right, this is the face. Loads of apologies for the hair. I've given her a kind of choppy look, shall I say. You know, when you go to the hairdressers and say, oh, do you want me to chop into that? This girl said, yes, please, plenty. So, but what I really want to show you is just where the main areas of shading are, how it's so easy that you think to paint a nose, you paint the shape of a nose, but you don't, you paint the shadows. Basically just where things go. This was the one that I put out in the week to show you what we were going to be doing, and I think I might have said to you then several things about it, but I can't remember because my memory's rubbish. So this is the head. Make the head whatever size you want to make it to fit into your piece of work or canvas or whatever, and then measure it. Mine measures 22, so half of 22, even I know that is 11, which is there. So that line there is the top of the pupils, top of the pops. It's the top of the pupils, and you might want to just mark that line in to give you a hand. This is not a classic face that you would be taught in art school or college or whatever. A classic face, the middle of the eyes goes in the middle of that measurement. But I'm trying to make a sort of, those doll faces that are really popular at the minute, with all big eyes, and I don't like them. I have to tell you this now. I do not like them, but I'm conceding that I have to know how to do them. And then the mouth comes from the edge of the iris down to the end of the mouth, same on that side. But with these, and that's where you'd normally draw your mouth, all your lips there. But because this is one of those pouty doll faces, I've brought a mouth in to be just wider than the nose, actually. And the mouth the lips are together, because you don't want to get involved, if you can possibly help it, with drawing teeth. Because before you know it, it looks like somebody would make a right mess of a carrot. Bugs Bunny. Right, the eyebrows, I'm not actually sure I've got them square, but that's the kind of relationship to the eye. And then the nose, the middle of the nostril should sort of come out onto the plumpest bit of that V bit of your lip. I'll show you what I've done anyway. I might put her up so I've got a bit of a guide.
And the trend for modern eyebrows, of course, is to make them look like they've been put on with a Sharpie.
Yeah, like it's a slug above their eye. What is that about?
I don't know, you don't need an eyebrow liner, you need a blooming...
Well, you need like a lipstick thing, I guess, that you just... I'm sorry if anybody's watching that does have these very thick eyebrows. And I appreciate that they're fashionable and I'm old. I appreciate all of that. And if you want to draw those onto your lady, it's fine. I'm just giving you some basic ideas here. So, oh, it's nice having a coffee. I don't normally have that luxury. So there's my, I'm going to do what I normally do, which is stick my tracer, my original thing here, onto the side of my artboard, so as when I transfer it, then I put the painting of the skin in, I can then put it back and get the eyes in, etc, etc. If you don't, well, at least if I don't, tack it down with masking tape, the blooming thing moves, and then I've got a clue what I'm doing basically, so I just attach it like a hinge. I'm sure you've all seen me do this before. Down one side, stick it down to your artboard on the other. It's masking tape, so it'll come off, and then when you transfer, you've got it in the right place every time you want to add something to it. Okie dokie. So I know we've got a few more people on tonight than we normally have, so I'm just going to take my time and explain things. This is called Saral wrap. S-A-R-A-L. No, not Saral wrap. God, dozy do. Saral transfer paper. Strangely enough. I buy it in the sample size, which is these sheets of virtually A4, and they come in 5 colours. They come in red, blue, yellow, white and graphite, which is great because depending on whether you want to transfer onto a dark or a light or mid-tone or whatever, they're great. Oh, that's them, thank you very much. Yeah, Saral transfer paper, and this is a sampler pack. You can buy them in, I think they're 12 inches wide and they're like yards long.
12 feet.
12 feet, that's yards. I can't see that you'd ever, unless all you do all the time are really large canvases, I can't see that you'd ever need that. I get by really well with this size, and you know, if I need to move it around, I'll do the top part and then the bottom part, and it's fine. I'll put 2 pieces under it, and it lasts. I mean, it lasts and lasts. You know, you lot have seen me do that. Use these pieces again and again and again now. Use them all week, every week. They're just the paper that keeps on giving. So I'm just going to draw my head out, transfer it through. So the Tuscan House, yes, I was going to tell you about that. It's been a series that we've been doing over on YouTube. I've been uploading videos every Saturday night for 6-7 weeks now. I think this is week 7, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, week 7. The odd thing about the Tuscan House is, I called it a Tuscan House because it looked like a Tuscan house. But then somebody in the group found a photograph of it somewhere else, and it's actually Spanish. So it's our Tuscan Spanish house. And we've just been looking at just real easy beginner's steps, just to join up all together to give us quite a nice size. I think it's 16 by 20 that.
It is, yes.
Yeah, so it's quite a size, but we've taken it very much in bite-sized chunks so everybody can keep up, and I explain every single thing that I do, you know, really slowly, and I'm sure for some of the more accomplished painters in the group it's been a bit of a pain, but my idea was I just wanted to get beginners used to holding a brush, used to mixing colours perhaps, looking at something and actually seeing it instead of just thinking you know what's there. And that actually is the crux to all drawing and painting. think I've got her eyes right. We'll tell more when we actually paint them, if she looks cross-eyed or whatever. Because I did alter them because I thought they were a little bit off. So they might be even more off. Now, just put in the bottom of the nose. It's on your tracing, and the lips. I mean, some of these we're going to have to come back and restate. So I think that's her. I think that's my lady. There's my lady.
Dorothy's here.
Oh, hello, Dorothy.
Apologises for being late, but you know.
I was just asking about you if anybody had heard tell of you. You haven't missed anything, Dorothy. We blended. We did some blending. And now all I've done is drawn this face out that you had a tracing of earlier in the week, so if you wanted to do it then, that was great. Right, the colours I'm going to use are the Snelia Abstract in Flesh Ochre. You can use Titanium Buff if you want. They're very, very similar colours. Or if you don't have either of those, you can use white with some yellow ochre in it, and it will get you to about the same place as that. So I'll put some of this out. 7:33 already. I was really trying for an hour tonight. I was really thinking I would get this done in an hour, and I'm just gabbing away, chit-chatting. I don't know. I'm going to add to it some yellow ochre. Not very much. You can always add, but it becomes a bit of a pest to, well, I mean, you can't take it out. So you just have to start again, waste your paint. So just put a little bit of that out for the time being. And the other surprising colour is Pearl Red. Or any bright red really will do, but Pearl Red works very well. So let's take a bit of this and let's mix in just a little bit of yellow ochre. I'm just going to spray these because these are not my open paints. And I'm taking the tiniest bit of red. I'll just mix that through and see if that's red enough. It really does make a difference, this red. I mean, I showed you how much there was, and look at it keep appearing in here.
Crystal says that you're written the tea already. For your coffee, I think.
Yeah.
She says you can also make flesh by using red, yellow and a touch of blue, then white to lighten.
Yeah, you could.
This will give you shadow colour as well.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that if I've got a very light here, and I've got what will be a mid-tone here. Crystal is a good girl to know. Crystal has an art supply shop, and she's really good at being helpful to people in the group, and I really appreciate that, Crystal. Thank you very much. And I also appreciate that you put up wonderful paintings that we can all look at and go, oh, wish I could do that.
Whereabouts is she based?
That's a good question. I believe she's American, but where are you, Crystal, please? Where in the world are you? Right, I'm just going to use a short flat brush here and just get a show on the road, really, pretty much. Otherwise we will be here forever. This is not kind of like, you know, a Royal Academy art class. This is the basics of how you can do a face that will be passably a face.
For beginners.
It's really, really for beginners. So I'm just really going to, you know, paint a head in with this colour, which is it's a nice flesh colour. My apologies if your natural skin colour is not this sort of weird pink.
Actually, not sorry. We're quite grateful that you're not that weird.
I am actually quite grateful that you're not this shade of person. But I'm going for a white person here, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, white, you know, it's a joke, isn't it? I mean, well, you're not that colour either. Wow, that's a nice hairstyle. Let's keep that. What was I saying? Yeah, my apologies if you happen to be black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. Look, I'm having enough trouble with this. That's all I can say.
Crystal said she figured that most people had those core colours for newbies, and she's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Please feel free to. Can you name them out again, please, for our beginners?
You can also make flesh by using red, yellow, a touch of blue, and then add white to lighten.
Okay, guys. So you know that's straight from this. These cheap brushes have finally given up the ghost of shedding the lacquer. They'll be heading to the bin. I'm just gonna. Sorry about the dog barking. Should be used to it by now. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Did Crystal say where she was?
No.
I'm sure she's somewhere in America. Oh, look what's happened. I've sprayed water and it's split the paint. So as if she wasn't not had enough problems. She's now got acne on her forehead.
Acne. Yes.
Nice.
And we shall have birthmarks and tattoos later.
Oh, please, get rid of that lot. I'm going to have to make a hairstyle a bit more rad. Do you like that? Rad.
Rad, yes. Could always go for an 80s perm.
I used to have a perm in the 80s. I had really long hair and I had it permed, and I had blonde and red highlights in it. I was thin.
For the 80s for me was short back and sides.
Well, it would be in the forces. That's kind of, you don't get a choice, do you?
No, they don't promote individuality much, to
I mean,
be
you
fair.
don't go to the barber's and he shows you a book of styles and says, which would you like?
No.
Well, I don't think you do. I haven't been in the services. That would be quite interesting, though, if you did. Hello, sir. What sort of haircut would one like today? This. I've had trouble all week with this.
Something for the weekend, sir?
With this flesh ochre colour. And I thought it was the paint, I thought it was my brushes, I thought it was the what I was painting onto, but actually I think it's the paint. It's just I don't know, something wrong with it. It's too clumpy, if you know what I mean. I'm not really getting this on smoothly onto it. Giving her plenty of problems today. Boy, could this girl use oil of Well, I've used virtually all of my mid colour up now, so I'm going to have to mix it again to get a darker shade. I'm kind of going as quick as I possibly can here, guys, because two things. One, I don't want to hold you, it's a Saturday night and I really appreciate you tuning in anyway. And secondly, it's kind of not my thing, so I don't really know that you're going to learn masses from it.
Crystal says, you guys have so much fun together, always laughing. I love it.
Well, actually, we were just debating, was it last night or the night before, that actually we do always laugh. We sit watching telly programmes and the same thing amuses us at the same time, and it's, you know, I'm not talking about comedy programmes, just things that in general that are said. I think we should have our own sitcom, is what I think.
It involves sitting on there.
Yeah. Right, okay. I mean, you know, we've got a bit of patchiness going on here, and we could certainly do, like I say, the girl could do the moisturiser big time. We've got these fisheye things here happening, but you know, she's got some flesh. That's good. That's a good start. So I'm going to take some more of this flesh ochre, despite the fact that I think there's something really wrong with it. Add a little bit of ochre to it.
Paula's popped in.
Hello. I actually want this more ochre-y rather than the pinky hue we have to it here. Let's mix that in. Let's see. So what you have to remember about head, as obvious as this seems, is it's 3D. It's, you know, goes round. So the bit down the middle automatically, unless you're looking at it in different lights, I'm talking about just full frontal here. So the middle section, did you perk up then?
Well, you said you were going full frontal.
Nobody wants to see that.
I was
Nobody.
just reaching for the zoom and the wide angle.
Wide angle. No. Oh, now you've put me off. I need some coffee.
We're going head on.
We're going full face on, which means that this part here is going to be the lightest part, and as we get nearer to the sides, it's going to get darker. That's the theory. That's not darker. So I just add a bit of ochre. You should be using your palette knife to mix this up. It gets in your ferrule and it jiggers your brushes up. This one's jiggered anyway, but you can't see that difference, can you, on the camera? No. I'm going to make it darker for the camera, for artistic effect. Otherwise you just won't see it, and I might as well just tell you that's finished. So you just kind of start here, go around the outside and just bring it in onto the forehead. Like that. This girl hasn't got any ears, you know. I didn't put any ears on because it's just another added complication. And you can't see them anyway because she's got this funky hairstyle. So just under the eyes.
She doesn't wear glasses.
It is. So just under the eyes there is a darker patch there that comes down onto this bone here, around here, and then it comes. Oh, my paint! I've got so many lights on me tonight. So it just comes down into the leaving the chin still light. Just feather that in like that. We'll be back over this piece in a minute. Not showing up at all.
Yes.
Oh no, she looks terrible. She looks better than that in real life. So kind of copy this, the sides. You want them to be pretty much the same.
Pretend we're doing theatrical makeup.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, aren't I? Otherwise it's just not going to show off.
No.
I'm not worried about going over the lines. My mother would have been, but I'm not. Don't go over the lines. So we'll just feather that into there, and we'll do the same bit here, under the eye. Like that. Okay. So there's also a bit above, so where the eyebrows are, here, that it's just darker a little bit, just above there. I can't see where they are because I've painted over them, so I'm hoping that I'm something like right. Otherwise she's going to end up even uglier. Let's feather that in a little bit more. I did do one in the week with my Golden Open acrylics, which everybody knows I absolutely adore, and it was great. It worked great. You know, you could blend them really easily. The problem was when it came to putting the details on the eye and stuff, I was leaning on the paint, and it was coming up and transferring, and it wasn't right really. So, right, the next thing we need to do is get a sort of a lighter colour to highlight No, let's do a nose first. Let's do a nose, seeing as I've got some of this dark hanging around. I have to mix another little bit up. So you don't paint the nose, you paint the shadow that the nose casts. So it's sort of, I can just see where that is, but I'll put it in again. Hopefully you'll be able to see where it is. So that's the bottom of the nose there. I don't know if you can see that actually. No, this is just pants, isn't it? What I'm painting is pants. I can't see it. Right, there we are, bottom of the nose. That's back of the net. So what you do is you actually shade in either side of the nose with a darker colour, which has gone light. Yeah, that's better. That's better. She looks horrendous. So it's sort of each side of the bridge, not the bridge, each side of the nose that you just want to put some dark into. Bring it up there into that dark that we put on above her eyebrow. And the same with the other side. Just bring it down around just a tiny little bit around the bottom of the nose there. And start that one again, just at the bottom of the nose. Bring it down there. And that's the shading for the nose in there. You don't want it to have a boxer's nose particularly. Just brush that out a little bit.
Lena's just joined us.
Who?
Lena Camilleri Roxy.
Hello. Lena. I'm not going to try that surname. That sounds quite complicated for me. But you had fun in primary school. It's nice to have so many of you with me tonight. I am really pleased about that. I was going to talk to you about Easter, which is next weekend. And also Mr. H's birthday. Right, I'm going to take this, I'll get back to it in a minute. I'm going to take this, these are really, really sticky. This flesh colour, and just tint it with the merest bit of ochre, yellow ochre. And we're going to put our centre of her brow, centre of her nose, and a nice cheeks in down here. Oh, that is light, but you can see that. I definitely do not want that much differentiation. I wanted to have nice bones there, but not that mark that I've just made. Yes, it's time everything started going wrong.
Looking fine.
It's probably a better colour. I have to go back over the other side. So I'm just kind of painting a cheeks in, really. Give her some 3D-ness. This is kind of not easy because I'm fighting my paint. I'm really fighting it. Come back here. Just paint, it's your job in life. Yeah, Easter, once again, guys. Would you like a live on the Saturday? I'll do something nice, like flowers or something. Need a little darker touch just in there.
This is like a makeup routine. It's exactly that.
Yeah, I guess it is, Dorothy. Guess you're right. And if I really used makeup, I might have a bit more clue what I was doing, to be honest. So there we are. I've got one cheek that looks quite passable. This cheek. Just seeing it on camera, it doesn't look like that. Oh no, Miss Handyman, do something. She doesn't look as bad as that. That's horrendous. She looks like she's got some contagion. Please, can you do anything? Can you change the light or do something? Or
I could try.
I think she really looks. That's dreadful.
It involves balancing on top of me.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. Then. This could end in disaster.
It could easily.
Oh my goody aunt, where you got? You'd have to see this to believe it, but Mr. Handyman is balanced on top of a rotating desk chair, trying to sort the lighting out. That is something. Oh my God, he might crash down on top of me actually any minute. So I just want a nice light bit here to go down.
I can't see the screen, so you'll have to
Oh,
tell
right,
me if that's
okay.
any better.
Looks like that mask from Hannibal Lecter.
Well, I thought that's what we were doing.
Well, then I fit the mark. No.
That worse?
Maybe worse. Way! Maybe worse. That's better. I think that's better. Yeah. It looks better in real life, but that's definitely better than it did look. I think. Don't you think?
I don't know, I'm dizzy.
Are you dizzy? Are you alright?
Of course I am.
Yeah. Well, I'm fighting the paint. The camera is making it look like poo. And it doesn't actually look like poo. It doesn't look great, but you know.
It's alright.
And then we just need a little bit down here. Give her a bit of light on her forehead. See if we can get rid of those spots that she's acquired.
I mean, to be honest, if you took the eyes and the mouth off anybody and shaved the red, they wouldn't look pretty.
Yeah, but she looks like she's got some disease, doesn't she? You know, like she's got some, well, disease. Right, okay. I'm well aware of the fact that that looks like absolute rubbish. But I'll post a picture afterwards. And it doesn't look that bad, does it?
No, it doesn't look that bad on the screen either, really.
Anyway, anywho. Oh, I should have done her neck. The one that I put up in the week, she looked like she'd been strangled. It's like all bruises down here. That was my imitation.
Crystal says that's why it took her so long to learn to paint faces, because she doesn't wear makeup.
Yeah, I think
And
that
Crystal says don't worry about the splotchiness, it's drying at different rates because of the lights, it'll dry evenly.
She's so nice, isn't she? She still hasn't told us where she lives, like. Is it in case we come round?
Yeah, we're known for that.
Yeah. Let's go to Crystal's. She's got a supply shop. Let's go to Crystal's.
Paula Roll says you're off on it, it looks fine.
There's a bit of an element of the old days cropping up, Paula. What you do is just, you know.
It's fine, just get on with it.
Shut up and get on, for heaven's sake. So, please, will you let me know, like now, seeing as we're on live now. So it's likely to be a similar audience next week. Similar people making up the audience, should I say. So, would you like one next week? What would you like? Which is a bit brave of me, I must say. And Yes or no, basically. Do you want one or not? So this just kind of comes in under a chin, but you have to leave a shadow. Don't forget to leave a shadow. I'm telling you to leave a shadow, and I've forgotten to leave a shadow. Let's pick up a bit of that and put that under a chin.
Dorothy Smith would like it Easter hair.
Easter hair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you do this deliberately, Dorothy? Do you spend all week thinking, yeah, I'm going to ask her for a rose, she can't do one of them. I'll ask her for a hair. I'll have a go at a hair.
Hopefully you're going to be doing several soon. Hairs.
I'm going to do hairs. I'm getting there. I've just, I might have made her nose a bit weird. Once again, folks, I'm telling you that...
Sharon would like a hummingbird on a flower.
Oh, my sort of language. Yeah. I need a smaller brush for that. I'll get my 1/4 inch angle shader. My trusty 1/4 inch angle shader. I just need to get this little bit in between her nose.
We could do both those things.
Can you do her hair? Because I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where am I going with this? This has got a little line like that on both sides. And seeing as we're in it for detail, let's put the little line in. Oh, that's horrendous. So Crystal still hasn't told us where she is, has she?
Where's Wally?
She's petrified, isn't she? She's thinking, oh my God, these lunatics are going to arrive. No. No. Okay. Maybe I need to go on a makeup course. Have any of you been following that program on a whatever night it is called Glow Up? It's most unlikely program for us to watch, seeing as neither Mr. Handyman nor myself wear makeup. But we like these competitions, you know, like the Great British Bake Off and the Sewing Bee, and there used to be one about allotments and stuff like that. We don't care what it is. We just like the fact that people get knocked out. It's just funny. I know it's sad when we get knocked out, but generally funny. Right, I'm going to do her lips now. Is she dry? Yeah, she's dry as a blooming bone, that's my problem. And I'm going to get the Sorrel paper again. I'm just going to put that mark on either side of her.
Dorothy says, yes, it's Fabby.
The Glow Up.
I'm presuming that's what she's talking
What
about.
Dorothy? I don't think Jan was watching that.
It's makeup, but not as we know it.
Yeah, makeup, but not as we know it. I got a bit of my paper stuck to that because it wasn't quite dry. So I'm going to give her, because I've got Pearl Red out, which is gone a bit gloopy, but never mind. I'm going to give her bright red lips. You can paint over them, you know, with a magenta or a white or whatever. This really is gloopy.
I suppose you could use your favourite shade of lipstick.
Well, you could. So, like I say, I don't think I'll give her highlights on her lips. I may feel like doing so. I think I need some new red out because that's just beyond a blooming joke. Beyond a joke.
also asked for hares,
Really?
and Crystal asked for an Easter hare with flowers round him.
Wow. I didn't know hares were such a big thing. Did you?
Not these days, because everybody seems to be either plucking, waxing, or braiding, or
Gone bald?
going bald.
Our lady's bald presently, but she ain't going to die that way. She probably is going to die tonight because she's probably going on the back of the fire. But she will die with hair. And with a certain amount of dignity, as I laugh when I cast her onto the fire.
Be interesting to see how many want the giveaway this week.
I'm not giving anything, well, I'm certainly not giving this silly thing away. This is really just an exercise in where your measurement should be and basic bog standard shading. Crystal, if you feel inclined to show us how it's supposed to be done, that would be great.
Says she's just made a little felt hair.
Ah, nice. I used to do quite a lot of felting. And weaving for that matter. But I sold it all. Sold all my stuff. Right.
There's one or two felt bowls around.
Yeah, and felt pictures and stuff. Yeah. I did a lot of it for my degree, which was textile art. So obviously that included some textile stuff. I'm quite tempted to give her red eyes, but that'd just be silly.
Get a felt picture.
I'll just wash that out really well. And I'm going to give her, oh alright, just washed it out, but having a look at it, her lips aren't equal. Is that better? Yeah, I think so. Nearly. I think the way she looks, her lips are at least of a problem. This is a golden open only because it's the colour, it's a colour that I want. It's sap green. And I want it for her eyes, because I've got green eyes. And it's a nice transparent colour. Oh my goodness.
A bit of show and tell. Distract them from the face.
What are you saying?
I'm saying melt.
I always knew tonight was going to be a bit of a hair and scare 'em type night. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Kind of wasn't going to be brilliant. But you know what? I think there's a merit in that. I think there's some merit in showing people that...
Well, some people make it look too easy.
I think we've all got to start somewhere. And that's good. Just to pick up a brush and get cracking. Right, I'm not saying these eyes are exactly a matching pair. But they're not far off. Right, I like that green anyway, that's nice. Okay, I think now I have to go into the realms of black and a small brush. Here's one of my felted pictures, Dorothy. Can you
move
I can't get... I've got paint and stuff out.
If you go to your right a little, you might be able to see. Let me zoom
Oh
out
my
a little.
God, he's up on that chair again. Yeah, that's fine. In a wee bit. Yeah, lovely.
If you tilt it slightly, you might see the...
It's a beck in the, not far from where we live actually. Sawn some stones on for rocks and stuff. Heathery sort of bank there, sky, blah blah. So that's that I did towards my degree. This is a bowl that I felted and then sewed on, put beads on and whatever.
Gold beads somewhere.
Yeah, some gold beads down there. And I did another one actually for my final piece. which was off the fells. But I don't suppose you've tuned in to listen to that sort of stuff up here. You know, she's drying. She's looking slightly more humanoid.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
it's because she's got her eyes in.
well, and I've zoomed out, so it's not that, but it's not glaring it out because it's letting more ambient light in. That's the problem of over zooming. But I do need to zoom in slightly more, probably.
Oh no. Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing details actually.
Unless you want your head in the shot all the time.
My head, no.
There we go. How's that?
Yeah.
See, she looks
So
like
you can actually see that this shading here and these cheeks here kind of work, I think. And this, you know, the darker bit up here. What do you think, Crystal? Be kind, please. I shouldn't have asked you. You're too good. Be kind. Put this line in that comes out from there. This is just black and a very small round. Well, it's a liner actually. It's quite long, so it's a liner. It's one of those set of Arteza brushes that I told you I'd got some time ago. Really cheap. Really good. I like them a lot.
Crystal says she painted her hair in gouache and another in pastels.
Oh, pastels are my love.
She says, wow, textile art, do you do macrame?
No, I don't actually. I don't. I do a lot of machine embroidery. Well, I'm saying I do. I used to. I haven't done any for quite a while. I've still got my lovely sewing machines upstairs, like quite a collection of them actually. But I do like block printing and then machining into it, that sort of thing. That kind of thing. So I'm just going to take this brush, try not to shake too much, and go around there, like that. And then go around the top. Load it up again. And go just above the line that you just put in.
Dorothy says she's going to put some pics on Miss Paintalot, so that'll be nice to see.
Oh, great. Thanks, Dorothy.
The felted things.
Thank you. No, she's got a bit of a misshapen eye here. I think I was a bit sort of slap happy with the paint.
And Dorothy says she hopes she's going to have some hair.
Yeah, she's going to have some hair. I was thinking about giving up with it and just not putting any hair. But I don't think you get a perspective of it without the hair, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think these eyes match terribly well, but you know. You're getting the gist of what I'm saying, aren't you? So in the corner of her eye is this little tear ducty thing. Like that. That's quite important to put in because it just doesn't look like an eye without that. Sort of rounds them up. Got a bit of a shape issue going on here. Then I'm just going to have to wait for that couple of seconds to dry so that I can work out where her eyebrows are. I hope they are where I've got the shade in for them. That would be helpful. And where that line on her lips is. She's looking quite okay, I think. I mean, she did great, I know that. But I think I've succeeded in showing you, we've got a light zone, the light catches her cheeks here, there's shading around here and here, goes down to her chin, that could have done with being blended out slightly more, and a lighter chin, which also catches the light. The shadow under here, because there just naturally is. I've got shadow here under all my chins. And I hope that you can do it. Just do one. Just do one. Just do one and practice. It's all I can ever say to you. Because I've got my hinge, I can flap this down and it will be in exactly the right place.
Liz says she's looking good, and we've been joined by Gaynor Marie and Kerry Betts.
Hi, Gaynor. Gaynor lives in lovely Cumbria. And Kerry lives in Australia.
Which is also lovely, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure it is. Perchance too many snakes for me.
Perchance.
Have you ever seen a snake, Kerry? I'm sorry, but I'm so afraid of snakes. I'm fixated by them. Have you ever had a snake in your house, or I mean, maybe you live in the middle of a city and snakes don't go there? I don't know. Oh yeah, that's all right. I've got to put that line on there.
We have snakes around here, don't we?
We do. You don't see them very often. They're not the most sociable of things. Sometimes sheep get bitten by them and lambs, but pretty much, if you get bitten by one of our poisonous ones, it'll make you feel rough for a while, and they do recommend that you go to hospital, but you'd have to have something wrong with you anyway, I think, for it to kill you, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
You'd have to be weak.
Yeah.
Have some sort of weakness.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a death by another bite for decades. Not that that would be any consolation to you, of course, if you got bitten.
We saw some, didn't we, when we used to go walking?
Yeah, particularly in the baby ones.
Yeah, well, they're easy to spot, because the baby ones, they're migrating. I don't know where they migrate to. I mean, just within the country, but from one bank to another bank, or wherever they go for the winter, I don't know. But because it's autumn time, they're absolutely orange, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just the same shade as tree leaves that have fallen on the ground. Same shade, I mean, not shade. I'm going to have to turn this lady on its side. Just before we came on live, there was a program about Florida. There seemed to be this couple who were out catching snakes. I got in a right flap watching it, I can tell you. Catching snakes, that's not my idea. This needs to come down a little bit, but I've got the angle sort of wrong. But as a general rule, the eyebrows go, if you take that and you take the corner of your eye, your eyebrow should end there. Same on this side. Corner of your nose, corner of your eye, and your eyebrow should end there. That's the kind of general rule. I'm not saying it's right. Now, I forgot to mark in her pupils, which are either going to make her look really ridiculous, and I need a different colour because I've traced over her lips with red, and of course her lips are red, so it's not really helping much. I'll get a piece of blue. Get that away in a minute. So guys, Easter Saturday. I will, by the looks of it, be here. I'll be delighted to be here, talking to somebody other than myself and Mr. H, Mr. Handyman there.
Crystal says she had one in the house one time and almost had an heart attack.
No!
And Kerry Betts says, yes, we have them around, but I've never seen one. Hubby has seen a few.
Oh. Crystal had one in the house. I'd have to move. I mean, I'm not joking here. You know, I'm not, am I, Mr. Handyman? No, I'm not joking.
No, but I think you were probably traumatised as a child when your granddad's Labrador got bitten.
No, it was a Cocker Spaniel.
Oh, Cocker Spaniel, was it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Cocker Spaniel got bitten by, well, we thought it had got bitten on the inside of its throat. And Grandad, I mean, in those days, Grandad was a gamekeeper, so he was pretty savvy with animals and whatever. And in those days, you didn't go running to the vet. You couldn't go running to the vet because you just didn't have the money. So Grandad, anyway, those pupils are certainly not right. She's got a problem. in his infinite wisdom, decided that the thing to do was to put alcohol on the bite. And so he cut the dog's throat. I mean, didn't kill it, cut it, opened it up. And the dog had actually swallowed, this is just like too horrible, a whole nest of baby adders. I can't talk any more about it, that's the end of that. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Anyway, that's that. Let's get back to this girl. The dog lived instantly. I should tell you that the dog lived. I mean, he sold it up with like stuff like string. Amazing, isn't it, what used to go on?
Different times.
Different times. Once this is dry, I need to take a rubber to it, because you can see where the blue is that I haven't quite covered over.
Dorothy, nowadays eyebrows are painted all sorts of shapes.
Yeah, you're right. I think before you joined us, Dorothy, we were having a discussion about the shapes of eyebrows.
The Sharpie Brigade.
Yeah, the Sharpie Brigade. I think it's just been caught on the thing. Right, so I can't really, well, I can leave her eyes white, but they're very, very, very white. Do you think I should leave them? I've got to paint these pupils in anyway.
Yeah.
This isn't right. That's not right. It's not there.
Well, put it so it looks roughly right.
I'll put it so it looks.
I wouldn't over-obsess.
No, I'm not. I mean,
it's not going on the wall.
It's not as if it's like the only thing that's wrong with her, is it? Right, let's see if we can get this something like right.
Crystal said her son saw a video of a snake coming up in the toilet. She says she woke up and he'd had the toilet duct taped down with heavy books on top.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, can you imagine? I mean, you can't see. Oh, no, you shouldn't have told me that. Oh. Right, look, we're getting there. In fact, you're pretty much there. All that remains now, well, if I was putting a background on, I'd put it on now. I don't think she merits a background. I've been chatting to you for far too long. So I'm going to do a hair, and I'm going to do it in a bit of, and see what colours I've got left here. See what's still viable. I've got some yellow. Is that still on the go? Yeah, I've got some yellow. I've got a bit of ochre there. That's a bit of a dirty blonde kind of look.
My favourite. You can't beat a bit of dirty blonde.
I'll just add a little bit more ochre to that and we'll get an even dirtier blonde. I'm not really fussed if this isn't the best mix in the world, because it might, if we're lucky, look like she's got sort of highlights and stuff in her hair. I might have to come back in a bit and put some brown. She's not looking too bad. She needs a bit more shaping in there. I think I might have just used the last of that mix. Just a little bit into there. You don't really want it to look like a boxer. Okay. So what was I doing? Oh, hair. For that, I'm going to use my big brush.
It says ginger because she's got green eyes.
Yeah, ginger. Shall I see if that red's viable in any way? Not really. I don't think this is ginger, Dorothy, so much as kind of, yeah, we're getting there, we might be getting there. Don't write it off yet. For all of you people who want to know about mixing paints and colours and what you can hope to achieve by adding various colours, like the lovely combination that Crystal gave us tonight for flesh tones, if you go to the Golden Acrylic Paints site, their own site, it's an American site, they have bucketfuls of information on there of mixing and, don't they, Mr. H?
Yes, they have an interactive colour
Yeah.
guide. You can enter the type of golden paint you've got.
Yeah.
And
right, so I'm just going to say that a parting is just off centre. I don't know that people have partings nowadays, but we'll make it there. And we'll give her a nice choppy look to life. I want it coming down here and across there because I want to cover up the fact that she hasn't actually got any ears. I mean, this is, you know, rough as a dog's dinner. Take your time with it and get it looking nice. And like I say, you know, if you use one or two colours, you get sort of highlights and a bit of interest. I haven't even got a big piece of paper here, really, of card. She's still got a bit of a bare forehead here, so let's bring that down. Let's bring that down and cover her eyes, because people nowadays seem to like that sort of look, where your hair's in your eyes constantly. I'm kind of not a fan of it, because it looks like it's going to annoy them all the time. Actually, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but I have got lots of different colours going on here. It's there's quite a lot of red. I'm just going to have to drag it down there. Ooh, I'm going to have to break that up a bit. What's the matter, Bob? What's the matter? Bring a bit down here as well. This one's got sort of shoulder length hair. Her haircut. It's gone quiet. It's gone very quiet in here. Oh, got to cover that bit up because she's got no ear. And she's definitely a redhead, Dorothy. She surely is. Is that? Oh, she looks a bit sad, doesn't she, really, poor soul? I can't get any more hair this side because this is the edge of my board, and I can't get any that side. So she's going to have this very, very chopped up style. But you know, let's just put some yellow ochre over it just to, and I can tell you, as soon as I finish this, I can tell you where she's going. I'll give you 3 chances to guess. On the wall. Nope. Leave it on the table to dry. Nope. She's going on the fire.
Lee's Ogan joined us and Amanda Fondren Townsend.
Hello, Amanda.
Excuse
Hello,
me.
Lisa.
Excuse my pronunciation.
Thank you very, very much for everybody that's accompanied me with my little journey tonight.
This is amazing, and Dorothy Miss, I like that.
Dorothy said.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks, Dorothy. Andrews.
Paula says she's happy with hair. Gary Betts says lovely.
You're all so kind, you really are. I'm just giving her some sort of ochre highlights here. I'm going to town on her now. So, I think we might have achieved what we set out to achieve, which would be absolutely bloody remarkable, frankly. What we set out to achieve was showing you how to take this two-dimensional flat thing and make it appear three-dimensional, which is kind of pretty much all painters ever really want to do, unless they're abstract or whatever. So we've looked at it. We know we keep it light here, we keep it dark towards the edges. The neck's always shaded. We pretty much now know where things should go. If you look back on on the thing that I put up on the page during the week, you'd see it has the marks on for where halfway is and where the eyes are in relation to that. Half of that halfway is in between the nose and the top of the lips, so you would know where to put them. And that's pretty much it. I mean, what else does she need? She's got two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. I mean, blimey, she's lucky. It was looking dodgy at one stage for her. And that's kind of it. So, really, what I want to say is thank you all very, very much for joining me tonight. It's been really good tonight. I mean, despite the fact, that maybe what we've produced hasn't been world class, let's say, but it's been good crack, as they say, and I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I shall see you next Saturday at 7 o'clock here, where I will attempt to do one of the things that somebody suggested. It'll probably involve flowers, because I'm getting a bit sad because I haven't painted flowers for a while. But I'll probably post halfway through the week what it's going to be. But I'd really love it if you could join me. The more people that join in, the better the crack is, really. So thanks very much, guys. I'll speak to you no doubt on the group on the week, and I'll see you next Saturday. Thank you. Bye.
Me and the boys was sitting around drinking, we was talking about things that we was thinking, when all of a sudden what comes out of Bill's mouth? Said I'm getting old and fat and slow, and I don't recover like I did before from nights of rabble, rousing and too much fun.